A beginning has been made at the COP28 climate summit, and some believe it's the beginning of the end of planet warming fossil fuels. It has also kindled hope that the world may be able to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Leaders of over 200 countries spent over 2 weeks in Dubai to thrash out contours of a pact, which puts the world on a path to slowly move away from burning oil, coal, and gas for energy. And it has been achieved at an unlikely place, Dubai. For the first time, a consensus has been reached on transitioning away from fossil fuels at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Norway's Foreign Minister Espen Barth Eide said that it was the first time that the world has united around such a clear text on the need to transition away from fossil fuels. But developed countries wanted stronger language. They wanted to phase out fossil fuel, something that was opposed by oil producer group OPEC. But critics believe that key highlights of the final document were vague terms and insufficient financing.
So if we have to summarize this COP, or if we have to say it, then yes, fixing the accountability is one of the issues, and more importantly, the issue is with ambiguity. Ambiguity in terms of defining what the targets are, by when these targets are, and by more importantly, by how. Once you address this first when, how, and what, then comes who is going to do it, right? Whether it is the developed countries supporting or at least committing or standing true to the pledge or going forward. So all of these are very, very important to address at this point of time.
Although the world remained divided on the text of the final document, India sure has some wins this year. Apart from transitioning away from fossil fuels, the document also called for phasing down of unabated coal power and inefficient fossil fuel subsidies in a just, orderly, and equitable manner. According to reports, India has particularly gained on many fronts at this year's COP28, like omission of a line in the final text of the COP28 document which limited generation of coal power through new thermal plants.
So India pushed back, and this time because there is a language on fossil fuels and transitioning away from that, the language on coal is now being balanced in a manner where we are talking about phase down. And in the previous version, there was a reference to rapid phase down and limitations on permitting new and unabated coal power generation. That has also been removed. And the main reason for that is India and other countries are trying to link it with finance. If finance is not provided and rich countries do not do as per their fair share, it is unreasonable and unfair to put pressure on countries that are using coal. So we have to bring that balance.
Additionally, developing countries can also use natural gas as a transition fuel for a smoother shift from carbon intensive fuels. The green fuels push in the document is also a plus for India and its plan on biofuels like blending petrol and ethanol. Out of the 10 declarations signed at COP28, India was only part of two. It gave a miss to crucial declarations such as health, climate change, and renewable energy. While India strives to be a $5 trillion economy, it is growing at a cost. The country's 75% electricity is coming from burning coal. As reported by Business Standard earlier, India accounts for 7.6% of the global carbon emissions, although the per capita emissions of the country remain one of the lowest globally. Developing nations like India are also set to gain from technology transfer. Some of them are carbon removal technologies, subsuming carbon capture, utilization and storage, and low carbon hydrogen production.
The biggest win for India is in terms of providing a push for technology transfer. Until now, what was happening is the developed countries were polluting. Then they were bringing in a technology. That technology had to be adopted. It was always a one-sided track. It was never a two-way traffic. But now developing countries like India have a stand that given there should be some of the equity and those cost sharing should happen at a technology level. In order to have that technology, you need to have a technology transfer mechanism on card. So this is very, very important win for India that the technology transfer part is been taken up, whether it is battery storage or biofuels or alternative energy sources. These are real key wins. And India as a country has got huge potency for raw materials for some of these technologies that needs to be brought in from margins to mainstream.
India aims to reach net zero emissions by 2070, and by 2030, it plans to meet 50% of its electricity requirements from renewable energy sources. Clearly, the country is on the track towards a greener future. Meanwhile, the flexibility it has got in COP28 will help in a smooth transition while maintaining the growth trajectory.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.